Winning the lottery doesn't change who you are, it just gives your bad decisions. Wi-Fi. 1. The mansion with no furniture. Our first lucky genius from Florida won $16 million and immediately bought a mansion the size of a shopping mall. The problem? He forgot furniture existed. For months, he lived in 8,000 square feet of echoing emptiness, eating fast food on a lawn chair in the living room, like a king of poor planning. When a reporter asked why he hadn't bought furniture yet, he said, "I wanted to see how the sunlight moves through the house first." Translation: he was waiting for the feng shui gods to drop him a couch. By the time he got around to decorating, the house was in foreclosure. Turns out sunlight can't pay the mortgage. 2. The guy who bought an island. Without checking the map. A lottery winner in Scotland decided to live the dream and bought his own private island. Picturesque, remote, a real-life fantasy, except it wasn't. He discovered after signing the papers that the island didn't have electricity, running water, or even a dock. He literally couldn't land his boat without destroying it. He spent £500,000 to become the proud owner of an uninhabitable rock that birds occasionally visit out of pity. Locals nicknamed it Gilligan's Mistake. He sold it 2 years later for less than the cost of the boat he wrecked trying to get there. 3. The woman who buried her cash in the backyard. When an Alabama woman won $3 million, she didn't trust banks, or safes, or apparently common sense. She stuffed most of her winnings in garbage bags and buried them in her backyard for security. Unfortunately, her husband's lawn care routine was too thorough. A few months later, he rented a backhoe to regrade the yard and accidentally dug through her secret fortune. The neighborhood kids collected $100 bills from the wind like they were in a rap video. She ended up on the local news, explaining to reporters that the Lord will provide. The Lord did, to her neighbors. 4. The guy who built a racetrack in his front yard. Some people buy sports cars. This guy from Ohio built NASCAR in his driveway. After a $5 million win, he paved his 12-acre property into a personal racetrack for me and the boys. Noise complaints from nearby residents started immediately. His defense? They should have known I was going to do something awesome. Within a year, he was sued for property damage, noise violations, and unpaid paving costs. His lawyer summed it up best. My client believed money made him faster than the law. Spoiler alert, it didn't. 5. The man who won twice and still went broke. A Virginia man hit the jackpot not once, but twice. First $3 million, then another $1 million a few years later. You'd think he'd have mastered the whole money management thing by then. Nope. He spent it all on cars, parties, and something he described as investments in good vibes. When asked what those investments were, he said, mostly jet skis. Both jackpots gone within a decade. When the news crew caught up with him years later, he was working at a convenience store selling, wait for it, lottery tickets. Talk about a cosmic refund policy. 6. The woman who tried to bribe karma. After winning $8 million, a woman in California got terrified of jinxing her luck, so she started tipping everyone. And I mean everyone. Waiters, Uber drivers, her dentist, even the mailman, all got $100 bills to keep the energy positive. By the end of year 1, she tipped away almost $700,000. The irony? Her good karma ran out when she tipped a guy pretending to be a fortune coach who promised to align her cosmic wealth field. He aligned it straight into his offshore account. When she finally realized it, she said, "I guess the universe was just testing me." The universe responded by sending her an IRS audit. 7. The man who won the lottery and faked his own death. Some people dream of freedom. This guy from Michigan just wanted peace and quiet, so he faked his own death. After winning $4 million, he staged a canoe accident and disappeared, leaving his wife, kids, and tax responsibilities behind. He moved 3 states over, changed his name, and started dating a yoga instructor who thought he was a humble woodworker. It all went fine until he got drunk at a bar and bragged, "You're looking at a lottery ghost, baby." His date Googled him. The cops showed up and his wife, now technically a widow, sued for emotional damages. The judge summed it up. "You can fake your death, sir, but you can't fake intelligence." 8. The couple who bought matching Lamborghinis and divorced over the colors. After hitting a $12 million jackpot, a married couple in Nevada decided to live fast. They bought matching Lamborghinis, his in neon green, hers in hot pink. Within 6 months, they were in divorce court, arguing about who got which car because green represents envy and pink is for winners. The cars were eventually sold to pay legal fees. Their lawyer said it was the only case he'd ever handled where the assets depreciated during the trial because one of them kept revving their Lambo in the courthouse parking lot. Moral of the story, love might conquer all, but it can't handle 700 horsepower and matching midlife crises. 9. The guy who gave away all his money for the vibes. A lottery winner in Oregon announced he was giving away his $2 million fortune to prove money isn't real. He held public events where anyone could line up and take cash, like a deranged Santa Claus with zero business plan. People showed up from 6 states away, and by the end of the month, he was broke. He told reporters he'd never felt freer. 3 months later, he was living in his van, still insisting he was rich in spirit. When someone asked if he missed being a millionaire, he said, "Yeah, but I do kinda miss air conditioning too." 10. The grandma who bought a jet ski and lived in the desert. When an 82-year-old woman from Arizona won $1.5 million, her first purchase was a neon yellow jet ski. There was just one problem. She lived 200 miles from the nearest body of water. But that didn't stop her. She kept it parked in the driveway, told neighbors it was for inspiration, and even bought a life jacket she wore around the house. When her grandson suggested she sell it, she said, "Why would I? It reminds me I can leave any time." She never did. But for years, that jet ski sat there, a glittering monument to freedom, optimism, and zero geographical awareness. 11. The guy who built a moat around his house. After winning $10 million, a man in Texas decided he didn't need security cameras. He needed medieval engineering. He hired contractors to dig a literal moat around his suburban home, complete with drawbridge, plastic alligators, and "No peasants allowed" signs. His HOA was thrilled, by which I mean they sued him within a week. His defense? If it was good enough for castles, it's good enough for Texas. The city forced him to fill it in after 3 neighbors' kids used it as a pool. His moat lasted exactly 23 days, a record for the shortest-lived medieval comeback in modern real estate. 12. The woman who hired an exorcist for her lottery ticket. Some people hire accountants. This woman hired a guy with incense and a YouTube channel. After winning $3 million, she became convinced her ticket was cursed because her phone died the same day she found out. So she hired a self-proclaimed energy realignment specialist to cleanse the ticket before cashing it. He burned sage, chanted, and accidentally set her kitchen curtains on fire. The ticket survived. Barely. When she finally got her winnings, she told reporters, "I beat the curse." Technically true, though most curses don't involve an $8,000 smoke damage bill and a fire department visit. 13. The man who opened a restaurant with no food in Kentucky, a newly rich lottery winner, decided to open a conceptual dining experience where people paid for the vibe, not the food. His idea was a restaurant with tables, candles, and waiters, but no kitchen. Guests would manifest their meals spiritually, while he DJ'd 1980s yacht rock. He called it the empty plate. It went viral for all the wrong reasons. Yelp reviews called it the most confusing hunger I've ever felt. The business folded in 2 months, and the only thing he served was existential regret. 14. The woman who tried to buy a town. After winning $30 million, a woman from Oregon announced she wanted to own her own town. She found a semi-abandoned mining settlement in Nevada and offered to buy the whole thing: buildings, land, and the 8 confused residents who still lived there. Unfortunately, the residents didn't realize she was serious until she mailed them eviction notices and a brochure titled "Welcome to Brendaville." Lawsuits followed, and the deal collapsed. The town's population sign still reads, "Population 8 and we're not for sale." 15. The man who spent $2 million on clowns. This guy from New Jersey decided to celebrate his jackpot with the biggest clown parade in history. He hired over 300 clowns, bought floats, fireworks, and even commissioned a balloon shaped like his own face. The problem? He forgot to get city permits. Police shut it down halfway through when the balloon got tangled in power lines, knocking out electricity for 3 blocks. Local news called it the day the circus came and wouldn't leave. When asked if he regretted it, he said, "Not really. You can't put a price on happiness." The city promptly did, $186,000 in fines. 16. The woman who tried to tip the IRS. One California winner wanted to prove she was grateful for her blessings. So when tax season rolled around, she sent the IRS a handwritten note that read, "Keep the change," and an extra $50,000 as a tip. The government, baffled, sent the money back, twice. She mailed it again, this time writing, "I insist." After the third attempt, the IRS issued an official letter stating, "We do not accept gratuities." She framed it, saying it was proof she was too nice for capitalism. 2 years later, she owed back taxes. Turns out, the universe doesn't do refunds on irony. 17. The guy who made his dog. CEO. After winning $6 million, a Colorado man founded his own pet wellness company. Cute idea, right? Then he legally registered his golden retriever, Max, as the company's CEO. He held board meetings where he'd bark questions and sign contracts with a paw print stamp. Investors thought it was a stunt, until they realized the company's bank account was actually in Max's name. When the IRS froze the funds, he protested, "This is species discrimination." His dog food startup went bankrupt, but on the bright side, Max was probably the only CEO in history to still chase his tail honestly. 18. The man who built a replica of the Titanic. In his backyard, a Canadian jackpot winner decided to honor history by building a full-size replica of the Titanic in his backyard in Alberta. The local zoning board described it as an unsanctioned ship in a prairie. It had lifeboats, a fake smokestack, and an iceberg-shaped pool float. When the media asked why he did it, he said, "Because it seemed like a good investment." His neighbors disagreed, especially after spring floods turned his property into an accidental reenactment. The ship didn't sink, but his marriage sure did. 19. The woman who paid a psychic to find her wallet, and lost $300,000. A Florida woman panicked after misplacing her wallet 2 weeks after winning $5 million. Instead of canceling her cards, she hired a psychic who claimed he could locate lost objects and block negative energy. The psychic said the wallet was trapped in the realm of unmanifested abundance and required $300,000 in vibrational cleansing fees. She paid, and shockingly, the wallet never appeared. The police later found it in her car's glove box. She told reporters, "I guess the universe was hiding it to teach me patience," the detective muttered, "and basic common sense." 20. The guy who tried to buy the moon. A tech worker in Nevada won $9 million and immediately declared himself an interstellar investor. He wired $250,000 to a scammer who claimed to own the legal rights to the moon, complete with deed and lunar coordinates. When NASA confirmed that, no, private ownership of the moon is not a thing, he argued. That's what they want you to think. His moon property came with a certificate printed in Comic Sans. He hung it in his office under a plaque that read, "Visionary." The only thing he successfully launched was a masterclass in gullibility. 21. The man who tried to start his own country. When a North Carolina man pocketed $15 million, he decided paying taxes was for peasants. So he bought 20 acres of land and declared it the Sovereign Republic of Me. He printed passports, built a flag, and demanded diplomatic recognition from the UN. When the county sheriff showed up to serve him a property violation notice, he said, "You're trespassing on foreign soil." Spoiler, the sheriff disagreed. His entire nation was repossessed for unpaid property taxes totaling $86,000. On the bright side, it was the shortest-lived country since that kid in Ohio who tried to make his treehouse independent in 1994. 22. The woman who bought 100 wedding dresses, malpriced, and stayed single after her $2 million win, a Florida woman decided she deserved the fairy tale life. So she bought 100 wedding dresses, not for a boutique, for herself. "I'm manifesting options," she said. Her house looked like a haunted bridal museum. She even hosted fake ceremonies with friends standing in as grooms, including her mailman. Eventually, she auctioned them all off online, calling the event 50 Shades of Lace. Total profits, $800. Total therapy bills, way, way higher. 23. The guy who invested in time travel. A British winner, convinced that true wealth meant changing destiny, poured $300,000 into a self-proclaimed scientist's plan to build a working time machine. The blueprint was drawn in crayon. The lab was a garage with a fog machine. When asked for progress updates, the scientist said, It's already working, you just can't see it yet. The investor defended his decision, saying, "We'll know it succeeded if I disappear one day." He didn't, but his money did. 24. The couple who turned their house into a zoo. After winning $9 million, a couple in Kansas bought every exotic animal they could find: llamas, parrots, miniature pigs, even a camel. They called it Lucky Acres Wildlife Sanctuary. Their neighbors called it a nightmare with feathers. Within a year, the county shut them down for health violations and a kangaroo escape incident that ended at a Dunkin' Donuts. The couple eventually admitted, "We didn't think animals ate this much." Somewhere out there, that kangaroo is still telling its friends about the weirdest pit stop of its life. 25. The man who bought a life-size statue of himself. Every year, a billionaire wannabe from Illinois spent $50,000 annually on a new life-size statue of himself to capture personal growth. His first statue showed him humble, holding a lottery ticket. The second, arms crossed, confident. The third, shirtless, on horseback. By year 5, his garage looked like a wax museum of narcissism. When his girlfriend dumped him, he unveiled a 6th statue of himself, mourning betrayal. Local art critics called it a profound metaphor for financial ego. His neighbors called it 6 reasons to move. 26. The woman who tried to clone her cat. After winning $7 million, a Texas woman said she'd finally do something meaningful. That turned out to mean cloning her cat, Mr. Whiskers, who had died in 2004. She contacted a shady biogenetics startup that operated out of a strip mall and promised soul-level duplication. They charged her $250,000 and mailed her what looked suspiciously like a ferret in a sweater. When she complained, they told her, "Genetics can't reproduce personality." She named the imposter Maybe Whiskers and declared she'd learned to love uncertainty. She's currently writing a memoir called One Life, 9 Mistakes. 27. The man who bought a haunted hotel for fun. A guy in Maine used his $3.4 million win to buy an abandoned Victorian hotel that locals swore was haunted. He thought it'd be a great Airbnb. Within weeks, guests were complaining about flickering lights, cold spots, and mysterious whispers. Instead of fixing the wiring, he leaned into the hype, marketing it as the world's most affordable paranormal experience. It sold out for a year straight. Then the fire marshal inspected it and shut it down for structural ghosts, also known as black mold. The man said, "It's fine, I'm pivoting to ghost tours," which, to his credit, is the first smart thing he ever did with his money. 28. The couple who bought 200 hot tubs for investment. A Wisconsin couple thought they'd discovered the next big business, hot tubs. They spent $1.2 million buying 200 of them wholesale, planning to resell them for profit. Except they forgot to do any marketing, pricing, or math. For 3 years, their entire backyard looked like a jacuzzi graveyard. Their HOA sued for aesthetic terrorism. When they finally gave up, they sold the lot to a local spa store for pennies. The husband later said, "Me wish my eyes, least we were warm while going broke." 29. The guy who turned his car into a mobile casino. After winning $5 million, a Vegas mechanic thought, why let casinos have all the fun? So he converted his van into a rolling gambling den. Slot machines, flashing lights, even a fake bouncer mannequin. He parked outside actual casinos offering better odds. It lasted 1 weekend before he was arrested for illegal gambling and public intoxication. His defense was flawless. "I was bringing the fun directly to the people." The judge replied, "You also brought the felony." 30. The woman who hired a private chef for her dog. After a $2.8 million win, a New York socialite decided her Pomeranian deserved fine dining. She hired a Michelin-trained chef to prepare gourmet meals for the dog: quail pâté, salmon soufflé, even steak tartare cut into heart shapes. The dog naturally hated it, preferring plain kibble. When the chef quit, citing existential despair, she replaced him with a food stylist for plating aesthetics. By year's end, the dog was the only one still solvent. 31. The man who bought a castle but forgot the roof. A British lottery winner dropped $2 million on an abandoned 14th century castle because, in his words, "I've always fancied living like a king." What he didn't realize was that the castle hadn't had a roof since 1890. Within weeks, his royal dream turned into a swamp. Every time it rained, his great hall filled up like a kiddie pool. He spent another $200,000 trying to tarp it, and finally admitted defeat when a family of ducks moved in and refused to leave. He told reporters, "I wanted a throne, I got a pond." Close enough, Your Majesty. 32. The woman who started a luxury potato chip company. A marketing manager in Oregon took her $5 million and decided to revolutionize snacking. Her idea? Gourmet potato chips for the upper class, flavors like truffle chardonnay and emotional stability. Each bag sold for $18 and came with a motivational quote on artisanal paper. Influencers mocked it, customers revolted, and she lost $3 million in 6 months. The final blow? Her supplier accidentally sent regular Lay's in the designer bags. Her brand collapsed overnight. On the plus side, she now has a lifetime supply of humble pie. 33. The guy who tried to build a theme park in his yard. An Ohio man hit $11 million and said, "Disney can do it. Why can't I?" He built Larryland, a family theme park featuring a single Ferris wheel, a popcorn stand, and a sign that said, "Where dreams go mild." He charged $5 admission and expected thousands. Total attendance, 12 people, 11 of them relatives. After a month, he shut it down and turned the Ferris wheel into a clothesline. When asked what he learned, he said, "Dream big, budget small." Somewhere, Walt Disney rolled over in his cryogenic chamber. 34. The couple who turned their pool into a goldfish pond. A Florida couple won $4 million and decided chlorinated pools were too mainstream. So they drained it, filled it with imported koi and goldfish, and renamed it the Pond of Prosperity. 2 months later, the fish started dying from sunscreen runoff and pool chemicals left in the concrete. Undeterred, they held a candlelight vigil and ordered more fish, this time spiritually blessed. Those also died. Eventually, they turned the pool back into a pool, renaming it the Pond of Acceptance. Honestly, that's character growth. 35. The man who bought every arcade machine he ever loved. A nostalgic 50-year-old winner spent his entire $1.5 million recreating his childhood arcade. He tracked down mint-condition cabinets of Pac-Man, Galaga, Donkey Kong, the works. It was paradise, until the electric bill came in at $14,000 a month. He refused to turn any machines off because he liked the ambience. When he couldn't pay, the power company cut him off. Permanently. He told a reporter, "I guess I lost the high score to adulthood." Somewhere, a single 8-bit tear rolled down Mario's cheek. 36. The woman who bought a cruise ship, but forgot the crew. After a $20 million jackpot, a retired teacher decided to fulfill her lifelong dream. "I want my own cruise line." She bought a decommissioned cruise ship on eBay for $3.5 million. Only later did she discover she had no staff, no license, and no idea how to steer 70,000 tons of floating metal. Her grand maiden voyage lasted 14 minutes before the ship drifted into a dock and demolished a seafood restaurant. She renamed it the SS Oops and sold it for scrap. Technically, she did launch something, just not what she planned. 37. The guy who tried to buy every Pizza Hut in America. A Kansas man thought big after winning $18 million. He decided to buy every Pizza Hut in the country to control the crust. He got through about 4 before realizing franchises cost millions each, and corporate oversight was a thing. When Pizza Hut politely asked him to stop calling their CEO, he threatened to open a rival chain called Pizza Home. It lasted 3 months, mostly because the logo looked suspiciously like a house on fire. His takeaway lesson? Turns out pizza isn't scalable when you're drunk. 38. The woman who opened a museum of her own life. A Wisconsin winner spent $2 million turning her old house into the Museum of Me. It featured exhibits like the couch where I watched Oprah and my favorite mug, Cracked. Admission was $15 and tours were guided by her, personally. Local critics called it a cry for help with a gift shop. Attendance peaked at 12 visitors, mostly relatives forced to go. When asked why she built it, she said, "Because history forgot me, so I'm reminding it." Fair enough, but maybe not for $2 million. 39. The man who tried to turn his backyard into Jurassic Park. Some people buy cars, others buy chaos. A South Carolina man used his winnings to create a dinosaur safari in his yard, complete with animatronic T-Rexes, fog machines, and fake volcanoes. It was glorious, until hurricane season hit. The storm knocked out the power, freezing every dinosaur mid-roar. and launching a 6-foot plastic raptor through his neighbor's window. The local paper dubbed it the Extinction Reenactment. He tried reopening as a prehistoric meditation garden, but the only thing fossilized was his bank account. 40. The grandma who built a roller coaster for her grandkids. After a $5 million win, a 74-year-old grandma decided swings were boring. So she hired a construction crew to build a 20-foot-tall roller coaster in her backyard. It worked, sort of. The first test ride ended with her grandson yelling, "Grandma, this is OSHA violation, the ride." The county shut it down after 1 week, citing catastrophic structural whimsy. She wasn't deterred. She converted the coaster into a clothesline and said, "At least my laundry has fun." 41. The man who turned his basement into a bank. After winning $9 million, a Missouri man decided he didn't trust those sneaky bankers. So he built his own, in his basement, with vault doors, fake tellers, and a sign that said, "The People's Reserve of Me." He moved all his cash down there in plastic tubs and started charging himself withdrawal fees for realism. The local police found out when he called 911 to report a robbery, which turned out to be his wife taking grocery money. When asked why he didn't just use a real bank, he said, "Because they'd think I'm crazy." Oh, buddy, they'd be right. 42. The woman who paid a clown to follow her ex-revenge, it seems, is best served honking. After winning $2.5 million, a woman in Australia spent $100,000 hiring a professional clown to follow her cheating ex around town for a month. Every time he left his house, the clown was there, honking, juggling, and silently judging. The stunt went viral, and she became a folk hero online. The ex eventually moved cities. She called it money well spent and said, "I finally bought happiness, and it wears a red nose." 43. The guy who bought 300,000 scratch-offs to win again. A Pennsylvania man hit a $1.2 million jackpot and immediately decided he could beat the system by reinvesting all of it into more lottery tickets. He bought so many scratch-offs the store ran out of shelves. By month's end, he'd won $14,000 and spent $1.2 million. When friends asked if he regretted it, he said, "Not really. It was fun while it lasted." Which, coincidentally, is also what people say right before filing bankruptcy. 44. The family who tried to build a spaceship. After winning $20 million, a father of 3 announced, "We're going to Mars." He hired a group of amateur engineers from Craigslist and gave them a warehouse, $5 million and zero oversight. Their spaceship turned out to be a hollow metal tube with Christmas lights and an engine that was actually a leaf blower. When NASA found out, they called it the most ambitious air duct ever built. The dad called it proof of the American spirit. His wife called her lawyer. 45. The woman who bought a ghost town and tried to reboot it. A Montana teacher won $3 million and purchased an abandoned 19th-century mining town. She reopened it as a wellness retreat for rich spiritual tourists, complete with yoga barns and crystal mines. It went well until she discovered the mines still contained actual dynamite. Her retreat ended abruptly when a meditation class accidentally set off a small explosion. She survived, but the slogan, "Find your inner peace," hit a little too literally. 46. The man who tattooed his bank balance on his forehead. A 26-year-old in Las Vegas won $2.7 million and immediately got $2,700,000 tattooed across his forehead. To remind myself to stay humble. 6 months later, taxes hit, gambling debts hit harder, and he was broke. The tattoo now reads 0.0, thanks to a creative artist and one very humbling laser session. Moral of the story, if you're going to mark your fortune, pick something less temporary, like a napkin receipt. 47. The couple who made their baby a brand too. Influencers won $5 million and decided their newborn would be the world's first luxury infant influencer. They trademarked his name, built him a mansion-themed nursery, and launched a perfume line called Baby Billionaire. It flopped within weeks when people realized the baby didn't exactly have opinions on sandalwood notes. The parents now sell personalized baby wipes online. The kid? Probably still richer than me. 48. The guy who buried his fortune and forgot where. And finally, the crown jewel of chaos. A man in rural Georgia won $10 million, panicked about taxes, and buried $5 million cash in his yard. Smart, right? Except he didn't draw a map. A few hurricanes, one divorce, and 3 years later, he forgot where it was. He spent 2 summers digging holes across his property like a paranoid pirate. His neighbors said it looked like if paranoia had a landscaping business. He never found the money, but local legend says every time it rains, a $100 bill floats up, like Mother Nature tipping herself. So, what did we learn? Money doesn't change people. It just gives their bad ideas a bigger stage. Which one deserves a medal for stupidity? Drop your vote in the comments before someone tries to buy Wi-Fi for their yacht again.